Consider the scenario where an aftermarket company decides to produce and sell spare parts that are compatible with a patented or designed component of a popular vehicle model. While the aftermarket company may argue that their spare parts serve the purpose of repair and maintenance, the original manufacturer may view this as contributory infringement, claiming that the spare parts are specifically designed or adapted for use in infringing activities. In such cases, courts have grappled with determining the scope of protection and the legality of producing spare parts. Some courts have taken a broad view, considering the overall design of the component and its impact on the functionality of the device. If the aftermarket spare part replicates a patented or designed feature that is integral to overall operation of the device, it may be deemed infringing. However, there have been instances where courts have recognized the need for aftermarket spare parts to ensure fair competition and consumer choice. These cases have highlighted the importance of market availability and consumer access to affordable parts. In such situations, courts have considered factors like the cost and availability of the original parts, the impact of competition, and the necessity of the spare parts for maintaining or repairing the device. One notable case is the design protection dispute between original BMW AG and Auto24 AG. Auto24 AG, an aftermarket company, produced and sold spare parts that replicated certain design elements of BMW vehicles, such as grille design and decorative features. BMW argued that these spare parts infringe on the registered designs. However, the court ruled in favor of Auto24 AG, stating that the spare parts were necessary for the repair and maintenance of BMW vehicles, and their availability in the market was essential for consumer choice and competition. This case demonstrates the delicate balance between protecting intellectual property rights and ensuring the availability of affordable spare parts. It emphasizes the need for courts to consider the broader implications, such as consumer welfare and fair competition, when adjudicating contributory infringements claims. In conclusion, the case study in the automotive industry highlights the complexities surrounding spare parts and intellectual property. The determination of contributory infringement requires careful examination of the specific circumstances, including the scope of protection, consumer needs, market availability, and the impact on competition. Striking a balance between protecting intellectual property rights and facilitating the availability of spare parts is crucial for fostering innovation, consumer choice, and fair competition. Let's delve into this topic of contributory infringement and the production of spare parts by exploring additional case studies and examining the legal landscape in various industries. In the technology sector, the case of Lexmark International Impression Products provides valuable insight. Lexmark, a printer manufacturer, held patent on toner cartridge and attempted to restrict third-party companies from refilling and selling their cartridges. Impression Product, a third-party remanufacturer, argued that Lexmark's patent rights were exhausted after initial sale of cartridge, allowing them to legally refill and resell them. The Supreme Court of the United States ruled in favor of Impression Product, stating that Lexmark's patent rights were indeed exhausted upon the initial authorized sale of cartridges. This case reinforced the principle that patent holders cannot control downstream activities involving their patented products, including the production and sale of compatible spare parts. Moving beyond the technology sector, the fashion industry presents its own set of challenges when it comes to spare parts and intellectual property. Luxury fashion brands often have distinctive design and logos that they seek to protect. However, when it comes to spare parts such as buttons, zippers, and fasteners, enforcing exclusive rights can be complex. In many cases, these spare parts are standard or generic, and their production by third-party manufacturers is essential for repair or maintenance. Fashion brands must carefully evaluate the scope of protection offered by patent or designs to ensure that it does not unduly restrict the availability of necessary spare parts. In the agricultural sector, let's learn about the case of Monsanto company Vernon Bowman, who became a focal point for discussion on the production of spare parts. Monsanto, a multinational agricultural biotechnology company, held patents on genetically modified seeds resistant to herbicides. Vernon Bowman, a farmer, purchased commodity soybeans from a grain elevator and used them to plant subsequent crops, knowing that a significant portion of those soybeans contained Monsanto's patented technology. The Supreme Court of the United States ruled in favor of Monsanto, holding that Bowman's actions constituted patent infringement. This case emphasized the importance of respecting intellectual property rights even when it involves the production of spare parts through the planting of patented seeds. In light of these case studies, it becomes clear that the concept of contributory infringement and the production of spare parts is a nuanced issue heavily dependent on the specific circumstances, industries, and legal frameworks. Intellectual property laws need to strike balance between protecting innovators' rights and prompting fair competition, consumer choice, and market availability of spare parts. As technology advances and industries evolve, the challenges surrounding the spare parts and intellectual property will continue to emerge. It's essential for legislators, courts, and stakeholders to engage in ongoing discussions and evaluate existing law to ensure that they remain effective, fair, and adaptable to changing market dynamics. In conclusion, the production of spare parts within the framework of contributory infringement is a multifaceted issue that requires careful consideration of legal principles, industry-specific dynamics, and consumer needs. The case studies we examined today demonstrate the complexities and nuance involved in determining the legality producing spare parts for patented or designed devices by prompting a balanced approach that respects intellectual property rights while ensuring fair competition and consumer welfare. It can foster innovation, enhance customer choice, and drive economic growth in diverse industries.